Hello, 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 hello. Thank you guys for staying up with me. You guys know I am a late night person. Excited to see y'all in here. Thank you for being patient with me. All out honesty, I was questioning whether or not I was going to go live. I almost canceled like 15 minutes ago, maybe 20 minutes ago, because this has been an incredibly busy day. I have not really had time to write down many notes. Nevertheless, I do believe that it's going to be good. We're going to see where God takes this. But the reason I wanted to come out here and deal with this is because we have been normalizing things that are not healthy. And I want you to understand, I want you to come to understand whether or not you are dealing with trauma. And I believe this wholeheartedly. Most of us have dealt with measures of trauma. Some of us have dealt with extreme trauma. I can say I was watching a video about PTSD, for example, and they talked about, and I forgot the term for it, but it was like there was a form of PTSD. They were talking about like repeated traumas. And that happened to me. I dealt with repeated traumas. They were talking about like, some people may have one event and get PTSD from that one event. Maybe somebody has a car accident and has that PTSD from that one event. But I'm somebody that had repeated bouts of trauma over the course of my life. And so for that, God has had to do quite a bit of healing with me, and that's or in me. And that's one of the reasons that I am so passionate about watching or seeing other people get free. That's why I'm so passionate about teaching the gospel, because I believe complex PTSD, that is it. Thank you so much. I believe that if God can set me free, if God can take me and do a work in me, I don't believe that there is anybody out there that God cannot touch, that God cannot heal, that God cannot deliver. But I do have to say this: you have to want it, because one of the things I've learned is that in counseling and coaching and mentoring and ministering to a lot of traumatized people, I found that there are people who don't want to heal because they like the attention that they get from trauma. They like the attention that they get from trauma. So consequently, they'll let you coach them, mentor them, minister to them, teach them, educate them, lead them, but they will never cross over the line all the way to forgiveness. They won't cross all the way over the line because they want to just continue to buzz around the issue or what have you. So what they do is they try to exalt their trauma as if it's far worse than anybody else's trauma in the whole wide world or what have you. And so they can see other people walking with you getting healed, but they will stay behind. And one of the things, or one of the responses, or one of the signs that you're dealing with a person who doesn't want to heal is when they refuse to move forward. No matter what, they refuse to move forward, and they just want you to come. And I always imagine it this way: they want you to come and pull up that little sheet of their tent and get under there with them and say, "Hey, girl, why you still here? You don't even understand. I mean, y'all can go back out there." But if you don't do that, they're offended. Oh, see, she out there, she favor them, what have you. So at the end of the day, you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. They're not going to go anywhere because they've made a decision that they like the response that they get from being a victim, as opposed to getting the healing. They are afraid that if they get healed, they won't get any attention anymore. So consequently, they will join programs, they'll seek counseling or what have you, but they'll try to control the mentor, they'll try to control the pastor, they'll try to control the therapist, they'll try to control everybody they come in contact with, because in all our honesty, all our honesty, they do not want to be free. But as you know, this is precursor text. This is me just talking to you guys. Do me a favor, make sure that you like and share. I know it's late, and I'm committing to you guys not to be on here too long. And I want to make sure that we get as many people on here as possible, because I do want people to get free on tonight. I do want us to come to understand some of the effects of trauma that we may be hosting in our lives, because like I said, it's normal, it's normalized. I posted it. Matter of fact, let me read the post that I posted to Facebook. And this is what triggered me to come out here. And I know I'm supposed to be talking about Leviathan. I'll come back out tomorrow and I'll touch a little bit on Leviathan tonight. But I'm going to come back out tomorrow and teach that. So I'm going to read the post that I posted to Facebook. And I got some responses from it, what have you. So, all right, I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys. This is a post I posted to Facebook. Okay. Yep, we're gonna get there. Hold up. Just gotta find that right lighting. Find that right angle. There we go. Being numb is not the same as being healed. I've seen two people on social media this week brag about having a strong cutoff game. That's not a flex, that's trauma. Hashtag that used to be me. Hashtag it used to be me. I'll read that again. Being numb is not the same. Hear me when I say this. Being numb is not the same as being healed. I've seen two people on social media this week brag about having a strong cutoff game. That's not a flex, that's trauma. I'm going to say that again. That's not a flex, that's trauma. So let's talk about it from the testimonial standpoint or what have you. You guys know I talked about when I was in the world, I wouldn't let guys get anywhere near my heart. It was very difficult to get anywhere near my heart. I can count on one hand, probably on two fingers, guys that I genuinely fell in love with. And when I say fell in love with, I'm talking about under the spell, felt like that's my baby. I want to be with him. In the world, I can count on two fingers, not two hands, one hand. And I think about the first guy. It wasn't my first boyfriend. You would have thought it would have been my first boyfriend. He used to get on my nerves. I liked him a lot. And I thought we could potentially have a future, but he used to get on my nerves. He was one of those people that thought it was funny to aggravate a female. You know, one of those guys that played all the time or what have you. So it was really hard to fall in love with him. The first time I quote unquote fell in love, I do genuinely believe when I look back at the symptoms and what have you, I do believe that guy was a narcissist. I do believe that guy was a narcissist, a very charming person, what have you. That was the one time. And then I think my ex-husband. So that did me three times because I got married. Honestly, the second time I got married, I don't think I was head over heels. I think I was just more so in a space where, you know, hey, this is a good guy. I want to be married. I like him. He likes me. We talking good. Everything sounds good or what have you. But I can count on one hand. So what I'm saying is that for the most part, I would get in relationships. I could like a guy. I could really strongly like a guy, but I would not give him my heart. And the thing about it was, it had everything to do. It wasn't that I was gangster. It wasn't that I was hard. I was broken. And you had to understand my past. You had to understand what I had came through to understand why I was so broken. I remember the street that we lived on. And I remember being maybe 11 years old, feeling grown up size anxiety. I remember that. Feeling grown up size anxiety. What am I saying? I'm saying as a child, I was dealing with those extreme emotions. I was dealing with extreme trauma as a child. So by the time I became a young woman, I became relatively numb to it. One and two, I avoided it. I avoided it. So if I was dating a guy and I found out that there was another female, I got rid of him. If he even showed the signs that there may have been another female, for example, if I call his phone, because back then we had landlines, and for those of you who are familiar with it, you know when somebody was on the phone, it would make a little clicking sound. Like if you call somebody and it made a little clicking sound. If I was calling somebody like 9, 10 o'clock at night and it made that clicking sound and he didn't answer the phone, I would just go ahead and start disassociating myself from that person. I would start disassociating myself from that person. You may say, well, how did you do that? Typically, what I would do was I would just start telling myself negative things about that person. I would sit there and say, he probably on the phone with another female. I don't know who he think. I don't know what he think this is. I would start telling myself, it's probably this particular female. If I knew like he had an ex or he had some maybe a child with somebody, I would go ahead and start disassociating from him. Hear me when I said this. That was trauma. That was trauma. So I was on TikTok, and maybe 4 days ago, I think the first person I saw talking about a strong cutoff game 3 or 4 days ago was a dude. And he was talking about, I don't know if he called it a flex, but he was presenting it as a flex, that his cutoff game is strong. And whenever, by the time a person realized that he'd already checked out of the relationship or what have you, and of course he had to make sure he put his cold face on or what have you. And looking at the video, I thought to myself, literally, I thought I wanted to go in the comment section and say, bro, that's trauma. But I decided against it because I'm like, millennials don't like to be corrected for the most part. And then I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. I was on TikTok again, came across this female, and she started talking about her cutoff game is so strong. She even cut off her parents. And I looked at that and I'm like, that's not a flex. That's trauma. So I posted it to Facebook and, trying to get people to understand that that's not healthy. And what's amazing to me is that I got some responses. Most people, I think everybody was relatively respectful or what have you. I only had one comment that I felt like I needed to delete because the young lady didn't seem to want revelation. She just kind of wanted to be combative. And so I decided, I don't platform that kind of stuff on my page or what have you. But in that, the general response, I remember her response was, like I was sending the wrong message to people, like telling people that they basically needed to tolerate toxic people in their lives. And that's not what I was saying. So one of the things I want you, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into the solutions before I jump into the symptoms. One of the things I want you to understand is when, first and foremost, you have to stop being reactive and start being proactive. You have to start being proactive instead of reactive. I hope I said that. You have to be proactive instead of reactive. What a lot of people are promoting is the idea, girl, go get in a relationship, right? Go meet the man, go do what you want to do. And as soon as he shows you that he's a piece of work, cut him off. By this time, she's already bonded with this dude. Hear my heart. She's already bonded. That's going to create more trauma. Thank you, Sister Sherry. God bless you. That's going to create more trauma on her part and maybe even on his part. Why waste the time? Why waste the heart? Or why allow yourself to deal with the damage to the heart that could be avoided? You have to be proactive. God said it this way in his word. Test the spirit. Test the spirit. Of course, I responded with that or what have you. And then a lot of times whenever you're talking to people, like I said, a lot of times people are not interested in learning. A lot of people just pretty much want to say what they want to say because, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump into this because as I was thinking about this message, I knew I was going to pull this pyramid out again. This is the pyramid that you guys have seen me draw many, many, many times. And I got to get y'all, I have to get you guys to understand what this looks like so that you can stop going out here putting yourselves in these relationships that bring you great deals of trauma. So you're never never healed enough to be in a healthy, whole relationship because you're always recovering from trauma simply because you decided to be reactive rather than proactive. So I'm going to show you this. All right. Y'all have seen me draw this before, but it is what it is. It's a picture that the Lord gave me. You can't see my drawing. I ain't put it up yet. Okay. You see this. Okay. This represents the bottom of the barrel. This is the bottom of the mountain. This is where most of us start off. So I want you to imagine that you've been traumatized. You've been held back from revelation. Now, this right here is the pinnacle. This right here is what you should be trying to get to. You don't date down here. But when you're down here, you're immature. You're in a rush to get in a relationship. You're in a rush to get some type of validation, affirmation. You're in a rush to find somebody to love you because catch this. Y'all ready? The reason you do that is because you have not yet learned to love yourself. When you're down here, You have not yet learned to love yourself. So when you don't love yourself, there's going to be a void there. That void is a void, it's called selfishness. You would think that whenever you're dealing with a person that has not learned to love themselves, that they would be selfless. But no, whenever you're dealing with a person who has not learned to love themselves, they are relatively selfish. Thank you, Sister Tony. God bless you. They're relatively selfish because that's a trauma response within itself. They start thinking all about themselves, their wants, their needs, and that's when people can get into objectification. So objectification is to see people as mere objects. That means use people, take advantage of people. Down here, people are manipulative. Down here, everybody's having one big orgy. Down here, nobody's really trying to focus. So your goal is to get from down here. Your goal is to get from down here. Now, what a lot of people are teaching, or what a lot of people are promoting, is the idea that you keep dating down here and then cutting them off. I'm gonna say that again. I want you to think about it. The idea, or what a lot of people are promoting, is that you continue to date down here, continue to date down here, and then cut them off. It don't work between me and dude, so I cut him off because I don't play that. Then I meet another dude down there, and I cut him off. You know why? Because I don't play that. Then I meet friends or what have you, we hanging out, but you know what I got to do? I got to cut them off. Why? Because I don't play that. So you keep recycling the same trauma with different people and the same demons, but never truly ascending. God says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and everything else will be added to you. So the goal is to go from here to ascend to here. You're going to become a student. To come here, this is where you get into volunteering. To come here, this is when you get to leading and helping. And then to come here, this is when you start stepping into your authenticity. Your goal is to ascend from here to here. You don't start dating or getting into relationships until you have pretty much reached up in here. And honestly, you want to make sure it's better to get it when here. So I'm going to say to you, I think I said this to my students tonight. One of the things, like you talk about success in women, and we talked about this on the last video, whereas they say that a lot of guys are intimidated by successful women, so consequently, successful women typically remain single for quite a bit of time. I beg to differ. One of the things I was sharing, I think I was sharing with my first class, I'm not sure, but I was talking about what this does is, as you ascend, you're available to all these dudes down here at first. Everybody, hey mom, what's your name? What's your name? You look good. What's your name? You got a man? You got a man? A lot of disrespect, a lot of dishonor, just a bunch of orgies. The girls down there trying to impress a bunch of empty-minded dudes, a bunch of broken dudes, or what have you. As you ascend here, you can see there isn't that much space because the pyramid, this is a mountain. It gets more and more narrow as you go up. So as you go up in thought, as you go up in revelation, as you go up, your choices start to slim out. Your choices begin to slim out. This is when you can meet the one. Does that make sense? This is when, because now your choices are narrowing out more and more. So God doesn't want me in a relationship, or he didn't want me in a relationship when I was down here. I got married down here 2 times at the bottom of the barrel. I got married down there. Matter of fact, I would say I was at the top of the bottom. I got married down there, and then I was trying to ascend. But y'all ready? Let me show you why I couldn't ascend. The husband is a covering. I want you to think about that. He's a covering. He's a cap. God won't put more on you than you can bear. If I'm one with him and he can't handle wealth, riches, if he can't handle, don't even think about the money part, the pressure of influence. If he can't handle certain things, then God has to protect him from those things because they can cause him to self-sabotage. If I am connected to him, if I am married to him, then I have to cap off with him. I have to cap off with him and I have to wait. Now, it's not to say he will never go there. It's not to say he will never heal. It is to say that we're going to spend a lot of time at the bottom. Wherever his mode of thinking, we're going to spend a lot of time down there. And I'm sitting there. And you know what happens in a marriage like that? I'm frustrated. I don't know why you keep doing that. Why you keep hanging around these type of people? Like, for real. I mean, you are too smart. You're too intelligent. Like, why won't you just move on? Listen, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just listen? Because what happens when you're broken is that you typically suffer from toxic loyalty. This means that you feel obligated to the people at the bottom because they've been at the bottom with you for a long time and they've had your back, not realizing that you will never truly know who your friends are, people that truly got your back, until you begin to ascend. Ask any person who has migrated from the bottom. That friend of yours that is there for 20 and 35 years, you don't know she's your friend if you've never moved in thought. If you've never grown, you don't know if she's your friend. You don't find out if a person is there for you. You will never know if a person got your back. You will never know if a person is really truly your friend until you begin to ascend. Until you start studying to show yourself approved. Amos 3:3, can two walk together except they be agreed? You will never truly know. This is why, y'all, it'd be so much in my head that I want. This is why. And I want you to imagine this is a mountain. This is a mountain. You're going to keep buzzing around. You're going to just keep going in circles. Think about the Israelites when they were in the wilderness. What was supposed to be an 11-day journey ended up taking them 40 years. What were they doing? Going in circles. Going in circles. That's called cycles. You want to know another word for cycle and circle? Stronghold. They were in a stronghold. So you end up recycling the same old information with the same set of friends. There is nothing wrong with having friends for 40 and 50 years if they are moving. But if they are stuck and they ain't moving, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to partner with toxic loyalty in an attempt to hold on to them. Because if you turn around, now call me a lie, some of you not having done what God told you to do, because deep down inside, subconsciously, you already know you're going to lose your friends. Hands up. You already know if you ascend, you already know if you sit back and say, let me go ahead and write this book. Let me go ahead and start this business. Let me go ahead and get this deliverance. Let me get this healing. Let me get in the church. Let me walk into my call. Let me walk into my anointing. You already know that they're going to fall away. So essentially, you have chosen them over God. You've chosen them because you are so afraid of being alone. But I'm gonna call a new word out. This is the word that the Lord's putting in my spirit now. I am an ascender. I'll write it down for you. I am an ascender. That means I ascend. My design, my assignment is not to get here and get stuck, or get here and get stuck, or get here and get stuck. My assignment is to ascend the hill of the Lord and constantly keep going up and dealing with every bit of frustration that comes with it. Because catch this, every time you feel the frustration, the trauma, the brokenness, that just means that's a part of your flesh. That's a lie that God wants to die. See, when I die to this level right here, then I qualify for that level. When I die to this level right here, then I qualify to this level. Do you understand that? The goal is for me to get to the point where don't nothing on that level bother me. She competing. She talking about you. He over there trying to sabotage you. Lord, I bless your name. Lord, I honor you. Lord, I worship and adore you. I thank you for all you've done. Okay, guys. Moderators, you have to get these people out here immediately. Otherwise, they're gonna keep on doing that. They're gonna keep putting that stuff up on there. You have to keep ascending. Matthew 6:33. Y'all heard me say this scripture, and I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm gonna keep saying this until it is so embedded in your spirit that you're gonna say it out loud everywhere you go. Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added to you. God has to be number one in your life. God has to be first. He has to be first. Idolatry is when you put something else first. Perversion is when something else is put before God, before the kingdom of God, before your purpose, for the very reason that you were put into the earth. You are an ascender. You are an ascender. Your assignment is to ascend. Now let's talk about this cutoff game thing, because like I told y'all, that was something that I used to flex about. But I want you to hear me when I say this. That is the Leviathan spirit in action. Just so you know, when it comes to Leviathan, thank you, Sister Lauren, God bless you. When it comes to the Leviathan spirit, the Bible refers to it as a covenant breaking spirit. It is a covenant breaking spirit. So this is what Leviathan does, or this is how okay, so I want you to understand there's a such thing called warfare. So in military, countries don't prepare for war in times of war. They prepare for war in times of what? Peace. United States military, Russian military, every military typically creates a blueprint for war. So they have to have a strategy. They have to have a plan. They don't just go into war loosely. They don't just go into war. If we go to war against Russia, God forbid, but if we go to war against Russia, they're not just going to fly over there and then just let them off the plane and say, y'all go kill them up. No, they're going to sit down and they're going to write out this plan. They're going to have this big old plan about how they're going to do things. Warfare, this is what the enemy does. That's called warfare. The enemy strategically creates a plan. So I want to give you an inside look at what the enemy does. He catches you down here in your brokenness, in your immaturity, when you're desperate, when you want to be in a relationship so bad, you don't know how to love yourself, but you want somebody to love you. And you're making all these little decrees and declarations in your heart about how you're going to be faithful or what have you. He catches you down there and he brings these people into your life that break you. So my brothers, you find yourself in relationships with women, they're not faithful. They want to hit the club. They cheating on you. They're condescending towards you. To my sisters, you keep coming in contact with cheating men that are always out here. They walk away from you. They get you pregnant. Next thing you know, you're a single mother all over again. The enemy trains you down here to ensure that you never leave. He weighs you down with soul ties. He weighs you down with trauma. He weighs you down with fear so that you will never leave this section. You start becoming familiar with the people down there. And you know what familiarity does? Familiarity makes you feel like I'll find the right man at some point, because I didn't peep game. So I already know how to handle a dude. See, back in the day when I was young and silly and naive, these dudes had me walking around here acting crazy. But girl, I don't play these type of games. That's what it does. That's Leviathan. Leviathan begins to change your language. Leviathan begins to get you to speak the language of the proud. So now you start feeling like I can handle these dudes. I know how to handle these dudes. So when somebody come along and they play games, you know how to play the game with him. You know how to stand toe to toe with him. You know how to break his heart the way that he broke your heart. But you don't understand you're dealing with something spiritual. You can't talk a demon out of being a demon. You cannot tame a demon. And so while you're standing there screaming and yelling at this dude and telling him, hey, listen, keep playing. Keep playing. You're going to find yourself single. That does not do anything to him. It doesn't do anything to him. So what the enemy does is he tames you while you're down here. He tames you, he trains you, he breaks you, because he wants to disqualify you from going here, here, and especially here. He wants to disqualify you. So if he can get you bound by Leviathan, which the Bible calls a covenant breaking spirit, you will never have a solid, good relationship. Amazingly enough, I'm going to say something. The people down here, the majority, if not all, majority, if they don't ascend, they will spend the rest of their lives never knowing what it feels like to be loved. They will have people who are quote unquote in love with them, but that's not real love. They will have people who are obsessed with them. They'll have people who want to have babies with them. They'll have people who are willing to act crazy over them. But somebody who genuinely, wholeheartedly loves you. I'm talking about agape love, where the conditions come off. I'm talking about God's kind of love where you can be your authentic self. I'm talking about God's kind of love where you wake up in the middle of the night and your husband has his hand on your head praying for you. I'm talking about that type of love where if something happens to you, that you know you have the safety of him never leaving you. I'm talking about that type of love where you can grow old with this person, teeth falling out, holding hands together. I'm talking about that type of love, not this vain bullcrap that we call love nowadays that is all centered around selfishness and brokenness. That's not love. That's not love. That's not love. Where we're centering our affections around, he look good. And he look at you and he say, pretty. Look nice to me. So you're physically attracted to each other, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, there's no attraction. So what you do is you find certain areas or certain qualities that you like about the person, completely and totally disregarding and dismissing every other quality, which is a form of rejection within itself. Thank you, sister. God bless you. But that's a form of rejection in itself. So y'all are having in-house rejection where you're having a lot of sex and you don't even know each other. Babies are popping out and everything. And you wonder why your cutoff game becomes strong. That's a trauma response. It becomes strong because when you're dating at the bottom, over the course of time, you're going to get tired of being broken. Over the course of time, nobody likes the feeling of not only being rejected, but being humiliated and hurt. See, when you got all of that, like I didn't put all of this time into this dude. We done made investments together and I genuinely love this person. And now he went out here and cheated. And our relationship is over. And he out there flossing this new girl. You know, because people sit up there like, hey, who's that girl? He walking around showing her off to everybody while I'm at the house having to go through the pain. And I'm just now starting my healing process. He out there laughing and carrying on. Nobody wants to feel that. That is pure, unadulterated trauma. I have been there. It hurts like heck. Nobody wants to feel that. So consequently, after you've experienced it before, that's the goal. Satan wants that trauma, that pain, for you to say in your heart, I never want to feel that again. And when you say that in your heart, I never want to feel that again, but you don't ascend in thought, you know what happens? You become controlling. So you start trying to control the situation. You start trying to master. You start trying to act like dudes. I'm going to make some feminists mad with this. I'm going to make some feminists mad with this. You start thinking that a woman can do the same thing that a man can do. Y'all better hear me. You're not wired like that. They're not even wired like that. Why do you think women live longer than men? Traditionally, women went out there jumping all over the place. Men were taught, a lot of guys were taught that being a thought was normal or even expected of a man. Sex or fornication, not sex. Fornication is a sin against your own body. If you want to know why a lot of guys don't live as long as women, it's because they keep sinning against their own body. It is the one sin that is a sin against their own body. They keep sinning. Show me a guy that runs through women, and I'll show you a guy who ages quick. I'll show you a guy, you will see the deterioration of his mind. I've lived long enough. You will see his mind start coming down. You will find that he's limited in intelligence. You will find that while even if he is smart, you're going to find that he is perverted. You're going to find what that does is it starts to consume him. It starts to consume his mind, consume his thought to the point where he finds himself looking at porn. Getting consumed by lust. You know what this is? This is a brother that got purpose, but the devil got his attention. That's right. Put it on like, How you watching another man penetrate a woman? You watch and you getting turned on. Got to put that hand down there too. Consequently, you will find that man distracted the whole time while the strong man, the man of the house, the covering, is distracted. The devil comes in and spoils his good. Because the Bible says, how can you first spoil a house unless you first bind a strong man? You must first bind a strong man, then you can spoil his house. Thank you, Sister Shannon. God bless you. So while he over here watching porn and playing with himself, the devil is attacking his wife. The devil is attacking his children. The devil is attacking everything about him, everything around him. Why? Because he did not heal. He did not heal. He did not get deliverance. He did not say, God, help me with this. And he starts to feel entitled. Most dangerous thing. Woman is the weaker vessel. He starts feeling entitled to the bodies of women. He's still feeling entitled to the bodies of women. What you talking about? No sex before marriage. I don't know if I can do that. That's a whole soul. That's a spirit that God created. You telling her that unless she comes outside the will of God, and you genuinely think you're heading toward heaven, unless she comes out the will of God, that you're gonna have to come outside of his will, because I can't. Yeah, come over here and sit on this. Come on. Being used by the enemy to break women. Consequently, guess what happens? You shall reap what you sow. Remember I told you cycles and strongholds? This is what happens. They go in a cycle. They go in a circle. Eventually, he's going to meet a woman who has a powerful witchcraft spirit, and he'll fall in love with her. And she's going to break him. And then he's going to go out there and break us. Hurt people, hurt people. I'm trying to show you the cycle. He going to go out there and hurt a bunch of people, then somebody going to come hurt him. Then he going to hurt a bunch of people, then somebody going to come hurt him. And they're going to spend the rest of their life doing it. Down there, everybody, it's like this big coochie penis war going on, where it's just like, pew, 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 everybody knocking each other down. Ain't no love down there. It's dark down there because the light revelation is up here. And this is a gradient. It gets lighter as you get to the top. So consequently, he spent his life in pain, never knowing what it's like to be loved or to love a person. Had 4, 5 kids out there with different women. None of them have the honor of having a father in their home. So they got to go through rejection and get caught up down here. They get caught up in rejection and they get stuck down here. So now they out here twerking and bopping all over the place. You see how that curse continues to progress? your cutoff game should not be strong. The only reason you have to develop a strong cutoff game is as a means of survival because you don't plan on ascending. I'm going to say that again. I need y'all to hear that. I need that to penetrate your spirit. I need that to penetrate your heart. I need that to penetrate your mind. The only reason your cutoff game has to be strong is if you do not plan to ascend. So now you got to find a way to survive. That is your bulletproof jacket of sorts. You got to find a way to survive because you ain't going nowhere in thought. You're not moving out of that zip code. You're going to keep dating the same type of dudes or the same type of ladies. So yes, of course, you got to take some defensive driving courses as it relates to relationships. You got to sit up there and you got to learn how to play the game too. Thank you, Sister Kathy. God bless you. You got to learn how to play the game too. You got to learn how to protect yourself and to shield your heart too. That's too much work. That's too much work. Why not put that energy into ascending? Why not put that energy, that time, that attention, and those tears into ascending? Why not say, y'all, the most powerful thing that you can do is make up your mind. When you say something and you mean it with your heart, it becomes a truth. Why not say, the curse ends with me? There will be no divorce, no separation. I'm going to get all the help I need. I'm going to go through my therapy. I ain't going to be cheating on my spouse. My spouse ain't going to cheat on me. I don't need a strong cutoff game because I ain't going to be dating down here. I'm proactive, not reactive. I made a decision. I said, you know what? That stuff stops with me. I'm done. Thank you, Sister Lucille. God bless you. It ends with me. I'm done. I've had enough trial and error doing all this crazy stuff. No, God, you have my full attention. You have my full will. Have your way. I am your daughter. Lord, protect me from any man who does not have your heart. In the name of Jesus. Cutoff game is when a person brags about being able to discard other people, not realizing that's a narcissistic trait. Being able to discard people whenever people hurt or offend them or scare them. It is not a healthy response to be able to discard people just like that. See, the same people who say they have a strong cutoff game also say they love hard, but there is no such thing as loving hard. You either love or you either love right or you love wrong. Loving hard is loving wrong because at the end of the day, I don't have to love hard if I learn how to love right. If I go and I get the healing that I need and I learn who love is, God is love. And I seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness and let him add everything to me. And he teaches my heart agape love, unconditional love. He teaches my heart how to genuinely love a person and to see them beyond the flesh, to see their spirit, to see their potential, to root for them, to cover their insecurities, to cover their issues. He teaches me how to be there for the man of God or any person in my life. He teaches me how to be there. I don't have to obsess over this dude. See, because the thing is, we think that obsession means that we love hard or we love people at a greater level. It doesn't. It means you don't love the person at all. The person is a means to an end, an object of sorts. But when you learn to love right, you give people room to grow. When you learn to love right, you don't try to control people. When you learn to love right, you learn how to sit back, and if your husband come home and he's not having the best of days, you learn to move out of the way and say, hey, can I help you with anything? When you learn how to love right, you ain't got to obsess. You get therapy. You get therapists. When you learn how to love right, you won't marry everybody. I won't be with somebody that I know is going to hurt me because let's be honest. Okay, let's go here. I'm going to talk to my sisters real quick, like, and I just want to ask you a question. And I want you to answer me because I like interaction. Have you ever genuinely been in a relationship with somebody who hurt you that you didn't see it coming? If you didn't see it coming, say yes. If you can be honest and say, you know what, I saw the signs, say no. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. And I'm not talking about denial. Well, I didn't see it coming. Some people saying yes, some people saying no. Okay, I'm gonna challenge y'all. Right, we see the red flags. For those of you saying, hey, I didn't see him, be honest with yourself. I'm not talking about denial, plausible denial. I'm not talking about sitting there saying, he would never do that to me. I can tell you, like, this one particular lady I used to work with. There was this one other lady that worked with us. The lady was extremely promiscuous. Extremely. We knew it. I mean, the girl, she didn't hide it. She was extreme. She would brag about being extremely promiscuous. So, and there was this other girl that worked with me who had started dating another dude. And started dating a dude there. I come in one morning and I see the extremely promiscuous girl and my friend girl's boyfriend standing there, and they're talking, and then they do this real hug. I'm not talking about they in each other's face. You can tell it's sexual. You can tell it's sexual. She over there rubbing his chest and what have you. So I tell my friend. So she go talk to the dude. And she come back, he said it didn't happen. He said that he said that they talked about something else, but but he didn't hug her. It was something. But anyway, the guy just straight out lied. And then she was like, I was like, I know what I saw. She was like, yeah, but that's what he said, and I believe him because that's my man, or something. She said to that extent. And she had the coldest look on her face. She said, that's my man, so I believe him. I respect that. Sure enough, it didn't last probably another 2 weeks. Because she found out what I was trying to tell her in the first place. What am I saying? She was in denial. I can genuinely say I have never been with a guy that wronged me that I didn't see it coming. I saw it. I just denied that it would happen. Because I thought that if you're good to a person, they'll automatically be good to you. I thought that by default, if you are building with a person and you're good to that person, that they would be good to you. They'll put up the effort, because they're going to be like, you know what? You're a solid woman. I ain't never had nobody like you before in my whole wide life. So you got me. Penis and all. It's all sold out. I'm going to put a sold sign on my penis so nobody else touches it. Lie from the pit of hell. A lot of us think that way. I thought automatically, if you're faithful to a person and you showing up or what have you, and you doing everything you're supposed to do as a spouse, and y'all building together, I thought automatically, no, that's a spirit that you're dealing with. That's a stronghold. Those are issues. This has everything to do with this range of thought right here. Sure, he may stop for a minute and entertain you, but as the earth turns, so he gonna keep on going back around in that circle. He gonna keep going back around in that circle. Well, over the course of time, I came to realize that there's literally nothing. I don't know who need to hear this. There's nothing you can do for a cheater. Don't log out. Don't run. I know. Not something you want to hear. It'll save you years of your life. There's nothing you can do a cheater? That person's problem is not with you, it's with God. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you not wearing your lace underwear. It has nothing to do with your sexual activity or how much chemistry you have. You guys can have the best chemistry. His chemistry with you could be better than his chemistry with any woman in the world. But if he has not gotten rid of that, then he's gonna keep doing it. There is no there. I don't know when he did that. There is no amount of sex that you can do to stop him. There is no amount. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop by the sex store, and they got these new handkerchiefs. And they say, the handkerchief you tie it around his neck, but it has a break. It's like the edible underwear. It has a break feature. It's gonna break so he doesn't choke all the way out. But you could tie it from the front, you could tie it from the back. I don't know why he wants me to tie it from the back. It's just weird. But he wants me to tie it from the back and be behind him to choke. And then it's supposed to break before he passes out. It's supposed to break before he passes out. They said if it don't break, the saliva coming out of his mouth should touch it, and it has a break feature because of the water. Once it starts, it should break. So now you at the sex store. How much is this? Ooh, what type of pen is this? Oh, it's a needle pen, ma'am. You inject him with a tranquilizer. It shouldn't completely paralyze him. It should just kind of paralyze his hands and his legs so you don't have to use handcuffs. Does it damage the neurological system in any way? I mean, we've had a few cases, but not so much because it's not that strong. It's just got a little. It's like an EpiPen. Oh, okay. So where do I stick him? You stick him in the butt, and within 15 minutes, his hands and his feet should go numb. So these are like handcuffs without the handcuffs. Yeah. What are the side effects? Well, he could potentially die. Well, everything comes with risk, right? Okay, I'm gonna get two of them. How much are they? $89.99. Okay, let me get two. You know why you're doing that? Because you think that by being a freak, you're going to out freak the next woman. You want to call me a lie? You think you're going to out freak the next woman? Y'all, can I tell you a little secret? You want to hear it? There are women out there who have way more experience than you ever care to have. Don't try to out freak them because you ain't going to do it. All this stuff you learning with your good numbers with dudes, you ain't been all out there, what have you. But you got women out there then had whole football teams and whole villages. They done been into some stuff. You see them in the store, you wonder, who is that woman that keep looking at you? And then she do this to your man, let her know. She's like that whole fist up in there. He looking, he like, $19.99. All right. I don't know how we ended up over there. Let's get back over here to this cutoff game stuff. So let's go ahead and get into this. I don't know how we got over there. I promise I don't know how we got over there. But it is to say that at the end of the day, you can't tame a demon. I'm sorry. You can make a decision right now that you want to be loved and you want to have a good, godly relationship that lasts until y'all clock out. Or you can keep on buzzing around the bottom, learning how to master those dudes down there and watching them master you. You can be down there in that big old orgy with all these people doing all this crazy stuff, or you can be of a small percentage of people who ascend. And you can climax here, you can climax here, you can climax here. But you can get up here and you can ascend. You can have a man of God who loves the Lord, who understands that, hey, my body belongs to God. Because I don't want no man who doesn't see his body as sacred. I just don't. I'm sorry. If he don't see his body as sacred, that ain't for me. In other words, I don't want a thought. I'm not looking to have a strong cutoff game. I've had it before. It was trauma. All right. Let's talk real quick. Because like I told you guys, I made a commitment. I'm not going to be on here very long. And you know what? I'm going to end up. I'm going to live up to that commitment. Milo, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this cutoff game stuff while he continues on whatever he got going on back there. All right. Let's talk about this cutoff game stuff. Cutoff is really escapism. Escapism. And Oxford Languages defines it. I wrote the definition down for you guys. Escapism. The tendency to seek distraction and relief from unpleasant realities, especially by seeking entertainment or engaging in fantasy. Thank you, Sister Patty. God bless you. Escapism. I'm going to read that again. Comes from Oxford Languages. The tendency to seek distraction and relief from unpleasant realities, especially by seeking entertainment or engaging in fantasy. Cutoff game equals escapism, also known in the world of psychology, is fight or flight. All right. I pulled up an article and I want to read that to you. And then I'm going to give you some examples of it. And then we're going to get out of here. Let's see here. All right. 5 F's of trauma responses. Let me see what article this is, because I got to make sure I get these folks their credit. Good God, what did I just do? All right, let's go back in there. All right. Comes from Trails. It says Trails. So I just post that up there like that. So y'all see, make sure they get their credit. So these are 5 F's of trauma response. And this is, and I'll try to find a website. It says Psych Education Trauma, 5 F's of trauma response. And that's all I see. Trying to make sure I give them their credit, because yeah. trailstowellness.org. Okay. trailstowellness.org. Okay. The 5 F's: fight. Common thoughts and feelings. This is for the fight. Is your fault, feeling anger or rage. Common behaviors: talking back to adults, storming out, showing aggression towards self or others, showing defiance, blaming others. This is the fight. Flight. Common thoughts or feelings: I got to get out of here. That used to be me right there. I've got to get out of here. Feeling anxious or overwhelmed, feeling the urge to flee. I was the flighter, which is the cutoff game. I was the flighter. I ran my tail off. Common behaviors for the flight, leaving the class unexpectedly, spacing out or seeming not to listen, being intentionally or unintentionally distracted, missing class. All right. Freeze. Common thoughts and feelings: I can't. Feeling panicked, overwhelmed, or numbed out. Common behaviors: giving up quickly, spacing out, seeming not to listen, showing frustration or overwhelm. Flop. Common thoughts and feelings: it's all my fault, or it's not worth it. Feeling sad, depressed, hopeless, apathetic. Common behaviors: appearing disengaged, showing little emotion, missing class. I guess this is for schools. Last one, friend. You got to identify where you are, guys. This is how you get free. Identify where you are. Last one, friend. Please help me. I can't do it. These are common thoughts and feelings. Please help me. I can't do it. A lot of people suffer from that one. Feeling helpless or powerless, low confidence. Common behaviors, not taking responsibility for oneself, relying on others, peers, adults to help solve problems. This is the Ahab. That's a person who decides like, I don't want no fight. I don't want to deal. Okay, you're right. You can do it. Can you help me? What you think I should do? Those are common responses of trauma. Now I'm going to give you some of the responses that I've noticed, and then we're going to deal with the last one, which is the escapism. Number one, fear of intimacy. Fear of intimacy. Fear of intimacy is not just dealing with sex. That also deals with sex, but I actually have a book that I'm going to be releasing soon, and I deal with this in this book. So you guys are getting, all right. And this is something I showed you last time, and it's something that I show with my mentees. Okay. All right. Going back to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's going to bless your life. It's going to bless you. If it blesses you, you got to make sure you share. Like, okay. So this is the spectrum of a man's heart. When I say man, I'm talking about man and woman. But since most of us are on here, let's think about a dude. Let's think about a man. Spectrums of a man's heart. I did an example in the book I talked about. I gave a bunch, I created a character and I gave him a lot of traumatic experiences, starting with his mother, his father. And then over the course of his life, just trauma, being cheated on. He's at level 5, dating down there. I'm talking about just being messed up being messed up. Don't ever, when you're thinking about this, don't ever forget Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and everything else will be added to you. Okay. So we're going to say that this is his conscious. This is the subconscious. This is the heart, right? This is his heart. I need you to pay attention. It's not going to make sense if you don't pay attention. But right here, there's light, but his heart is dark because of all the traumas. Now, the traumas don't just bring darkness. The darkness is a void. That's all darkness is voids. He never got therapy. He has not filled himself up with God. He's still trying to hold on to some semblance of his identity. He still likes level 5 or what have you. So he goes, every woman that he dates manages to get here for the most part before he sabotages the relationship. Because his mama was here, his mama broke his heart. His daddy was here, his daddy broke his heart. His family was here, his family broke his heart. He has dealt with brokenness over here. This is too close. This is intimate space. He's dealt with brokenness over here his whole life. So he don't want nobody over there. He don't trust nobody over there. That's in ruins. That right here is in ruins. It's a hot mess over there. It hurts too bad. So he would much rather not let anybody in there. Now, there was a time in his life, first few relationships where he was trying to let people in. He had a girlfriend or two that got up in here, and then some that got up in here, and they were like demonic hand grenades. These women came into his life and boom, they gave him hell. He went through some stuff with them. Boom, boom, boom. So you know what? That's too close to his heart, too much impact, too much pain. So consequently, typically, he ends his relationships or sabotages his relationships right about here. Are y'all being blessed yet? He ends all of his relationships right here. You can't get too close to him. He doesn't want you here. When he meets you, he doesn't know that. He's not conscious of that. All he knows is, I really like you, and I love to get to know you. I want to build something with you, build a family with you, build something with you. Okay. The problem is each one of these levels has an alarm. Each one of these levels has an alarm. So Dating women is light here. The more it's a gradient. The more you go off in here, the darker it gets. Right here is light. It's good. When he meets a woman and the woman is right here, it's cool. It's all well and dandy or what have you. He's able to, show himself in the best light or what have you. He's able to do that. But he's afraid of a woman getting too much in his heart because she'll see the mess that he is. She'll see all the stuff, all of the rubble, all the damage, all of the debris, all of the broken souls. She will see way too much up in there. So he doesn't let women get that. Plus, he doesn't want to get hurt again. But nevertheless, he's human. He desires love. He desires to be genuinely loved by a person, not realizing that in order for a person or two people to become one, their hearts are going to have to merge. He doesn't allow that. So he meets a woman. Thank you, Sister Lauren. God bless you. He meets a woman, and most women manage to get here. Then he meets your sexy self. You. Yep, he meets you. And he really likes you. He feeling you. You like him or what have you. And he tries to convince himself, I really like this girl. I think that she could be the one. I think she could have potential or what have you. The problem is typically when a woman gets right here, he starts getting scared. He will typically sabotage a relationship by cheating on her or by checking out, he'll stop calling her. He'll go, he'll ghost a woman or what have you. So this is typically how he responds here. But you get here and then you start ascending in here and he's feeling some type of way. But you know what? You're amazing. So fearful, scared. Alarm go off, he let you cross. Now, first, when you start crossing, he started trying to sabotage your relationship. When you first start crossing, he starts trying to sabotage your relationship. So you're like, listen, he's like, he stopped calling. And you're like, okay, I ain't got time for that. I just don't. Then one day he decided to call. So you ain't gonna call me? Well, I called you 3 times. You did not answer your phone. It's been 3 days since you called me. So I figured you didn't want to talk to me. I ain't like that. I just been going through some stuff. Yeah, but that ain't how you do relationships. So you say you are pursuing me, then I'm not about to do that with you. I'm not going 3 days and then wondering if I did something wrong and going to your voicemail. That's not how you do relationship. He's like, I'm cool. I'm sorry. Can we try to start over? You said, oh, I don't know. We can talk, but honestly, so he sits there and he opens up to you. He said, to be honest with you, I got a little scared because I don't let women get that close. I don't let people get that far. He opens up to you. Because he opened up to you, what he just did, thank you, Sister April, God bless you. What he just did was he opened the door between here and here. He opened the door. You see that little opportunity, you move in. Now, the alarm is going off. Sweaty palms, racing heart, butterflies in the stomach, and he's terrified. He's ready to cut you out of there, but at the same time, he really likes you. So you up in there, now he starts showing a little, signs of insecurity. Who's that texting your phone? That's my auntie. Thank you, Sackcloth and Ashes. God bless you. That's my auntie. Why? I'm just saying. So he starts showing signs of insecurity. What's he doing? He's already working towards sabotaging the relationship. He's trying to reassure himself as well. But you in here, he ain't planning to let you go no further than here. One day, as you're ascending in there, he starts just checking out. He becomes mean. He starts disconnecting. He starts doing a whole lot of stuff. And you sit up there, and let's just say you over to his house that day. You go over to his house because you notice he ain't called you in a couple of days. When he does call you, a little bit dry or what have you. So you go over there like, listen, I don't play these type of games. We're going to have to talk. We're going to end it or do something. But what I'm not about to do is be confused. I'm not about to play these type of games. So you go over there and you're talking to him. He said, I just been playing the video game. He just sitting there. You just like, give me that joystick. Let's talk. What do you want? What you mean? No, what do you want? Do you want a relationship? I mean, who doesn't want a relationship? But you know how that is. I know how what is. First and foremost, I don't want to be compared to your exes. At the end of the day, you have to give me an opportunity to show who I am, as opposed to me So you give him this talk or what have you. What are you doing? You up in here making some noise. You're auditioning for this right here. This right here. Now, I want you to remember this. This is light. This is dark. You are ascending into the darkness. I need you to hear me, because the further you go in his heart, the darker it's going to get. Because I'm going to tell you something God said to me. He said, don't you dare get here before I do. Who needed to hear that? Don't you dare get here before I do. Because in the darkness, there are demons. In the darkness, there is brokenness. You don't know what's in that darkness. Don't you dare try to get there before I do. Because some of you are guilty of that. His cutoff game is strong because he broke. He's broken. He's not bad. He's just broken. His cutoff game is strong because he's terrified of love. He's never really had it. He's terrified of it. He's terrified of the responsibility aspect. He's terrified of being vulnerable. He's terrified of losing everything, including what's left of his mind. He's terrified. You right here, you have a conversation. He says, you know what? I just think it's best to end it. And you look at him and you say, you know what? I'm not about to do this with you. I care about you, and I'm not going to walk out of here. So what's about to happen is you're about to get over this real quick, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to move beyond this, because I'm tired of this. Because then tomorrow you're going to be calling me talking about you changed your mind. And if you keep doing this, I'm not going to let you change your mind. I care about you. I would never cheat on you. I would never walk away from you. I am here for you. You can be yours. So you're talking to him, and what you're doing is you're convincing him over there. Now, you're here. You didn't go further than most women. Here is darker, but you're moving right there. You're moving right there. This was destroyed by mommy and daddy. This was destroyed by girlfriends. You're ascending into the darkness. You're right here. You talking to him, and you like, let me help you. He said, what do you mean help you? What do you need help at? I don't need help nowhere. You need help. You need therapy. I got a therapist for you. What else do you need? Name it. Name it. No, I'm not walking out of here. So you're like, man, just leave. I'm not leaving. No, because all y'all women are saying generalization is the highest form of trauma. When they start talking about all y'all women, that's trauma. All y'all women it's just gonna be like this. I'm not all y'all women. When are you gonna allow yourself the ability to be loved? You got somebody here trying to love you, but yet and still you won't let me. So these things are piercing. Please hear me. You pierce in the darkness. You're not going to know what makes you stumble. You convince him. He has a moment with you where he cries. It's beautiful. He says, I'm just scared. I ain't going to lie. I'm just scared. And you say, I know, baby. I'm scared too, but I love you. You ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm here for you, okay? And then you do something that most women have not done in years. You mess around and get here. You know what you are at this stage? An idol. God said, don't you get here before I get there. Don't you be trying to get to God, I'm going to win him for you. He's so cute. You want to get... Don't you go there before I go there. You just ascending. You're ascending into the darkness. When you get in that darkness, right then and there, what's in that darkness is going to consume you. What's in that darkness is going to terrify you, torment you, because what's happened is that place is in ruins. And you, being a human being, you do not have the tools to fix that, and you are not God. You cannot fit that God-sized hole in his heart. So now you didn't put all this time and effort and energy into the relationship. Somebody said, here comes the discard. That's right. You're going to get discarded. But check out the beautiful part, the ugly part about the discard is that he'll discard you first without letting you know that you've been discarded. He'll discard you without letting you know that you've been discarded. And then slowly but surely, you're going to find out. And then what he has to do in order to make him, because we all have that conscious aspect, in order to make himself feel better, he has to trigger you to anger. He has to say some condescending stuff to you. Nah, man, I ain't never liked you anyhow. So you know what the goal is? To get you to say something. Well, you know what? You crazy. I'm talking about you crazy. You go to saying stuff about him. That gives him the relief that he needs to walk away. Why am I showing you that? Because this is the guy that's going to have a strong discard game or a strong cutoff game. It's escapism. You can't heal him. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. He has to take all that over to God before he can give it to you. Same thing for you. If you broken, because a dude can ascend into the darkness with you. I've seen dudes that went into, I got 2 uncles, like I told you, 6 feet under because of the women they chose. 6 feet under. Because they chose the wrong women. Then they made the mistake of trying to hold on when God gave them a way of escape. Trying to hold on and prove, thinking that the woman was going to change. Next thing you know, have one of them tasting lead, gets shot up by cops because his wife called the police. Another one wakes up in the middle of the night, his house is on fire. Why? Because they did not love themselves. They didn't love God with all of their heart, mind, and strength. Consequently, they could not truly love themselves. So they lost their lives in their 30s. Both of them. I think one of them was 31. I think the other one was maybe like 34, 35. They lost their lives in their 30s. I've watched the devil discard my relatives like crazy because they had romantic idolatry. All right. I'm saying that to say bragging about the ability to discard another person is a sign that 1, you're on level 5 and you don't plan to ascend. 2, you're traumatized. 3, you want to date the same demon and a different man looking for a different set of results, or the same demon and a different woman looking for a different set of results. See, when God gives you a new heart and a new mind, your appetite changes. When God gave me a new heart and a new mind, I'm not attracted to worldly men at all. I am genuinely attracted to God's spirit. And I say that, I mean that. I'm attracted to God's spirit in a man. That I love to see God moving in a man. I am not attracted to that. I'm not attracted to Leviathan anymore. I'm not attracted to that kind of stuff. Because I already know what that goes. I already know what that's going to be like. A whole lot of sensuality, whole lot of good sex in the beginning, a whole lot of love bombing, a whole lot of gaslighting, followed by a whole lot of pain. I'm a purpose-filled creature. I'm not here to be humped and dumped. So I make it a point. God, I present this body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to you, which is my reasonable service. 1 and 2, protect me, God, because I don't trust me. Protect me from anybody that you don't trust with my heart. Protect me, cover me. Because God, you said in your word, man looks at the outward appearance, but you look at the heart. You see what I don't see. You know what I don't know. All right. I want to talk about some of the trauma responses. We talked about fear of intimacy. It's a trauma response. Intimacy, and this is what we were dealing with here. This is what we were dealing with here. Intimacy is here. But when the heart is broken, you can't really be intimate with a person. So they're going to have intellectual knowledge of you, not intimate knowledge of you. In order for you to become one, in order for you to have a whole and good relationship with a person, you have to become intimate. Now, not outside of marriage, but I'm talking about there has to be intimate knowledge. You have to become intimate. But when you're dealing with a broken person, you're not going to have those levels of intimacy because demons are there. All right. Fear of rejection is number 2. Fear of rejection is number 2. Fear of rejection. How hexes work is just, yeah, pretty much. I think I have to look up hexes. But yeah, they pretty much all work the same way. Fear of rejection is number 2. Fear of rejection works outside of a relationship, inside of a relationship, and after a relationship. So fear of rejection outside of a relationship looks like a man being afraid to approach you. A man being afraid to apply for a position on a job. A man being afraid to take the, like if God says, hey, I want to move you guys to Hawaii, being afraid to take that jump because he likes safety. He likes safety. Fear of rejection is when you idolize your own emotions. And so you don't want to deal with the emotional aspect, the pain, the shame. You don't want to deal with that. So in order to protect yourself from that, you typically will just go ahead and go without whatever it is that God is offering to you in an attempt to protect yourself. It is self-preservation. It is self-preservation. That is a trauma response. Self-preservation. Next one is fear of abandonment. Fear of abandonment typically happens whereas if you're in a relationship, and it's an extension of the fear of rejection, but when you're in a relationship with a person, they become terrified of you leaving them. They become, and catch this, the craziest thing about the fear of abandonment is typically the people who suffer from it the most are the ones who do wrong in a relationship. They're typically the ones that cheat. Then they be scared as heck if you leaving them. The ones who are abusive, but then they be terrified of you leaving them. They will abuse you out of fear of you leaving them. Because they're trying to break you so you don't go. Fear of abandonment. That's number 3. Fear of abandonment. Terrified that you're going to walk away sometime. You know, and people like that, they will, I don't want you working. Okay, I'm going to sit at home and work on something. I don't want you doing that. Don't want you to have no money, no nothing. Fear of abandonment. Next one is sabotage. Sabotage is when you get in relationships or you get in positions, you get certain things, and then you sabotage every opportunity. This is what we were talking about with this particular character. You know, what he does is here he typically sabotages the relationship. Once a person gets here, he sabotages the relationship because this right here is in the area of his teeth. There's still a little bit of light here. He still looks good right here, but he looks a hot mess when he gets up. When you get up in there. So he typically sabotages relationships right there. So sabotage could be, you know, him cussing you out, cheating on you, hitting on you, or just ghosting you altogether. Another form or another trauma response, moving too fast in relationships. Moving too fast in relationships. I love you. I know I've known you for a long time. You got to get that soul tie going. And, you know, that's not even just in romantic relationships. I found that in platonic relationships. Y'all, my sisters, I love y'all. Some of y'all got to heal. You my bestie. I ain't even known you a week. I feel like, you know, I know I haven't known you a long time, but, and I hope this doesn't sound crazy. If you say that, it's going to sound crazy. But I feel like you're my best friend. I think you're cool. So far, what I've known about you in this week, it's been decent. But I'm not your best friend. You're not my best friend, so I can't reciprocate those words. Can we? Because you know what they're doing? They're obligating you. That's what the purpose of a label is. A purpose of a label. Y'all know I can be a little bit dramatic. The purpose of a label is to bring you under control. Anytime a person rushes to put a label to your relationship with them, they want to control you. It is an attempt to control because of fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. It is centered around control. I have not had a person who has rushed me who did not eventually try to control me in one way or another. Passive control or dominant control. I've had to have hard conversations with women about, girl, you didn't even answer your phone. We listen, let me go ahead and tell you something. My phone be on silent sometimes, so don't do that. Don't try to force me to answer my phone or prioritize your calls. You want to call me to talk about the fact that a mosquito bit you on the back and you have not found anybody that can scratch your back, you manless. So that happens. So take your back, go up against the wall, you catch the corner of a door and rub your back. Why the heck do I need to be on the phone and talk to you about the fact that a mosquito bit you on the back? Dang, you ain't got to be that rough. Yes, I do. Because you're behaving like a narcissist. I don't owe you that. It is always centered around control. Never fails. What was the rush for me to get on the phone? Because you done blew up my phone 5 times. You don't never be wanting to answer your phone. Okay, what's the rush for me to get on the phone? I just wanted to talk to you. Talk to me about what? Go ahead, tell me. What's the rush? What is the big deal? Okay, you're making me feel bad. No, just tell me what's the big deal. So, the guy I told you about at my job. I told you we got a unisex bathroom. Yeah, I remember you telling me that. So how about, girl? I didn't know he was in the stall, and I had explosive diarrhea. Girl, I was up in there, and he had on pink tennis shoes. What man wear pink tennis shoes? That's why I thought it was a woman. He had on pink tennis shoes, so I saw the feet, and I thought it was that woman Diane, because she always blowing up the bathroom. So I felt like we were gonna be matching energy up in there. But girl, I just sat there and I didn't even try to hold it. It was just, girl, I was farting. It was just loud. It was messy up in there. And I said, ooh, girl, this feel good. I thought that was Diane. And he was like, he got quiet and I heard him clear his throat out. I'm like, wait, Diane got a little bit of bass. She got a cold or something. And I was like, Diane? And he was like, nah, this Tyrone. So now, girl, I'm shamed. So this was an emergency. Yeah. And that wasn't the worst part of it. What was the worst part? Because I'm trying to figure out why I needed to stop doing what I was doing to take this call. The worst part, girl, there weren't even no toilet paper in the stall. So I had to ask him to give me some toilet paper. And then when he said it went on over there, he had to give me paper towels. So what happened after that? Oh, nothing, girl. He since I came out the stall, normally he be flirting and stuff, but he ain't doing it. He ain't did that no more. He been avoiding eye contact with me and everything. I feel like he's being very avoidant. Okay. Next time, ask him in the stall. Told you not to eat that ice cream. Knew you were lactose intolerant. All right. Sorry. Y'all know I got to get one silly one in the late night hour. Moving too fast in relationships, just putting labels all over everybody, calling everybody bestie, calling the dude your boo, babe. All right. Next one, giving too much in relationships. You good? You sure you don't need anything? No, I'm just saying. I gotta figure out how to pay this car note. What's your cash at? How much is your car note? $463. Why? What's your cash at? You ought to be pepper sprayed. How long you know him? 2 weeks? Girl. You give too much. And giving too much in relationships is not always just, monetary. Most of the times it's you giving too much of you telling the person too much about you. The goal is to test the spirit and give people to drip information. You don't jump into a relationship and start telling everybody everything there is to know about you. You don't just tell them, listen, okay, so at the age of this happened to me and that and my favorite color, did you get that? That's too much. You sit back and you listen. This is how you test the spirit. You can't test the spirit you don't listen to. You got to listen. You got to pay attention. And if you get that dude, that's the strong, quiet type. He ain't quiet. He just know how to play you. He ain't quiet. I'm just letting you talk. No, he knows how to play he know how to play your type. Put him at the table with me. He'll talk. Hmm. Put him at the table with me. He'll talk. I didn't even know he talked like that. He was quiet the whole time with me because he played you. And you sat there and opened up and told him everything there is to know about you. You've been told him when your cycle comes on. It typically comes on around the end of the month. But it move up like 2 or 3 days every month. So like if it came on the 25th of last month, then it should be here on the 22nd of this month. And then the next month it's gonna be here on the 19th, then next month on the 15th. No, 16th. Then after that the 13th. And then after that the 10th. Then after that the 7th. Then after that the 4th. You see what I'm going with that? Then after that the 1st. So if you really do the math, I should be available. Got to plan our wedding around that. You just open up too much. You're telling the dude way too much in the beginning. Next trauma response: dating emotionally unavailable people. He didn't call you back. He didn't text you. He's not showing interest in you. He's not available. He may not be in a relationship with a person, but he showing heck is in a relationship with a demon. Emotionally unavailable people are typically in a relationship with their trauma. There's no room for you in here, or here. There's no room. I've never understood women who entertain those type of guys and still have hope. I'm gonna bring you a plate. I'm gonna show him that I can cook. Does that feel attacked? I'm gonna show him I can cook. That's what he need. He just needed me to cook. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go up in there, and I know he was telling me his family from the South. I'm gonna glaze a ham. I'm gonna glaze a ham for him. I'm going them little bitty hams. I'm gonna glaze it and put some sweet potatoes around it and stuff like that. I'm making some homemade cornbread, and I'm gonna show him that I can be a wife. I'm gonna show off all my. This probably just has nothing to do with the message. But ladies, can you stop fishing for men by put pictures of your plates online? We know you can cook. Seared asparagus, steak, homemade rolls, iced potatoes. All for my poodle. Posting food pics like crazy. Out here trying thirst trapping for fat dudes. Trying to get somebody to sit back and be like, oh man. I gotta move on. I gotta move on. They ain't gonna try to end the day by putting the Christian woman, the sneaky butt shot. Can't do it like the world, because the world, they obvious, but the Christian woman got to do the sneaky one. She got to kind of turn and try to side and try to put that leg out a little bit, put the booty out, try to let you see that she got a hump back there. Fishing for flesh and then getting mad that she attracts it. I love y'all. It's a whole circus. Fishing for flesh. You fishing. You showing him food. You showing him your meat. Then you end up with a dude that want to sleep on your couch. Over there eating up all your food, sitting up in the living room. Your kids like, who is that? I'll tell you what I said to my students today. One of the ways of idolatry. Thank you, Ernestine. God bless you. One of the things that your kids have to stop seeing are disappearing uncles. This piece does. What is this like this? Oh. Disappearing uncles. Kids traumatized because the last uncle. What happened to your uncle? When I told my students, I ain't telling the kid he died. And dude had 3 dead uncles in 1 year. You wonder why your children grow up and do the things that they do. Because they've never got a chance to see in a stable environment. Because an unstable person cannot create a stable environment. Even though you want one. An unstable person cannot create a stable environment. It just doesn't happen. This is why if you decide I want a stable, healed, holy, God-filled relationship, you better go stabilize yourself. God said, humble yourself. Go get that therapist and get that brain fixed. Right, the uncle that showed up at nighttime was gone by the morning. And one that was in your mama's room grunting. What's happening there? He moving the dresser around. All right. Last one. Said I wasn't gonna keep y'all long. Last one. Trauma bonding. Let's look up trauma bonding. Trauma bonding. And these are give me a second. All right. Trauma bonding, how to recognize and break traumatic bonds. This is Healthline. I haven't read this one before, but I'm just going to see what it says. Medically reviewed by Marnie A. White, PhD, MS Psychology, written by Crystal Rapole on November 4th, 2020. Leaving an abusive relationship usually isn't as simple as walking out the door. Along with concerns about finding a place to live, supporting yourself, or being prevented from seeing your children or loved ones, you might feel tied to your partner, unable to break away. This emotional attachment, known as a trauma bond, develops out of a repeated cycle of abuse, devaluation, and positive reinforcement. It's crazy. Thank you, Divine Purpose. God bless you. We go up and we go down. We go up, we go down. It's a merry-go-round, and it's okay. The trauma of abuse might create powerful feelings you struggle to make sense of, especially when abuse alternates with kindness and intimacy. It's only natural to develop a bond with someone who treats you with kindness. Now, let me say this. Outside of the world of psychology, the reason trauma, first and foremost, a trauma bond is a form of soul tie. A trauma bond is a form of soul tie. Secondly, the reason those bonds are formed is because the person victimizes you and then rescues you. And we have a way of forming a bond with our hero. So if you've never been in a relationship with a narcissist, let me tell you how that looks, because I've been there before. Narcissists typically will take you to hell, and they don't let up off the hell. Typical people will just, you may have a disagreement, you go ahead and you talk about it, you get over it. Not a narcissist. A narcissist is typically, they will take the atmosphere and turn it to toxic. That's the temperature they set it to, is toxic. And they will punish you this day, the next day. The goal is to break you. The goal is to break you. Because after a while, the first day or two, you're pretty much like, it'll end. I don't care. I'm tired because I'm not about to do this. By day 3, you're worn out. You're like, I'm tired of fighting. Like, I don't want to come home to a fight. Can we talk about it? Ain't nothing to talk about. Ain't nothing to talk about. By day 4, first and foremost, one of the things, and I forgot the name of it, but it's sleep deprivation. They're gonna stop you from sleeping. They wear you down. There are articles on this. This is really what narcissists do. They will wake you up in the middle of the night. Then they'll even confuse you. After traumatizing you, not speaking to you, y'all arguing every day, they'll wake you up in the middle of the night, want to have sex with you. Right? But they'll want to have sex with you. You give in, thinking that everything is fine. We'll talk about everything in the morning. You give in, the next day, they still back to acting crazy. Hold up. I thought we resolved it. Who said we resolved it? They will take you through these cycles until you break. Or when you get to the edge of it and you like, I gotta leave, or you gotta leave. This has to end, something has to give, or what have you. Or however you respond, because some people respond like, please just talk to me. However you respond. The narcissist typically will wait till you get to the end. Whereas not only is it affecting you in the house, it starts affecting your job, affecting your other relationships. It starts affecting you. Thank you, Enthralled Adventures. God bless you. And then, out of the blue, the next day, you're pretty much in your mind. Okay, if he come home with this bull crap today, matter of fact, I know he gonna come home with it. I'm leaving. I can't do this with this dude. I'm just not. He'll come in with a bouquet of roses. He like, come here, turn, stop. I'm sorry. And you know what typically happens? You have a moment of breaking. Because you're so hurt, you're so angry. You've had 5, 6, 7 days of sleep deprivation and being broken and having a toxic environment that by the time you're like, stop, you break. You're crying your heart out. And he's like, I'm so sorry. Brought you M&M's. Oh, wow. So that right there, he bonds with you in that moment. He bonds with you in that moment. So in that moment, even though you're fighting, you're trying to get away, you're like, I gotta go. He's like, you're not gonna leave. We're gonna stay together. We're gonna get through this. Get through what, Negro? You creating this stuff. He ends up bonding with you, giving you the next 3 days of perfect relief, and you genuinely tell yourself, my prayers are working. God answered my prayers. These last couple of days, it's genuinely a roller coaster. If you want to know what it looks like, it's genuinely a roller coaster. Genuinely. It's genuinely a roller coaster, right? It doesn't end well. I'm saying that to say that when it comes down to this, y'all, again, those are trauma responses. Where was I? Find where I was. Those are trauma responses. I was on this Healthline article. It's only natural to develop a bond with someone who treats you with kindness. Many abusive relationships begin with a shower of affection and assurances of love. When the abuse begins, it may take you by surprise. Afterward, your partner might apologize, swear to change, or insist, I was just upset. They'll say something like, I was just upset, the guy at work, I told you he's been giving me a hard time. It'll be a bunch of excuses. These attempts to manipulate often succeed since you remember the early days of the relationship and believe that they can be that person again. I told you guys a long time ago, typically when you're dealing with a narcissist, something about your brain will create two people within that person. You will see two people. You're going to see the person that they showed you, and you're going to see the monster. So you'll spend quite a bit of time when the monster shows up, you're too in love with the other person. So you'll fight the monster trying to get back to the other person. Trauma bonding can also happen between a child and an abusive caregiver or an adult, a hostage and a kidnapper. We know that Stockholm syndrome, the leader and members of a cult. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of this. Okay. Trauma bonding. That is a trauma response. You have a tendency to trauma bond, not just with people that are in your life. I found that a lot of people that have tried to enter my life using the mechanism of trauma bonding, and I'm not talking about men, I'm talking about females. Let me show you one little trauma bond that I noticed that some women do. They'll go and approach you, especially if you're in a communal setting. They'll approach you the wrong way, be real offensive, do crazy stuff to you. Okay, think about it this way. We've all seen this happen before. In the workplace, you'll see there's one girl working, and you'll see another girl. Maybe she's a supervisor, or she is a colleague, or what have you. But she give that girl hell. I'm talking about get loud with her, always telling on her, give her hell. And the other girl be, talking back to her or what have you. And the other girl, is breaking down. And the next thing you know, the evil one will go over to the other one and say, I'm sorry, I just, I feel like I like to see things organized a certain way. Next thing, what happens? You see them walking together. They become besties. I have never in my whole wildlife understood why people form relationships with the people that were abusing them. Some of y'all watching now, your best friend is the girl that was abusing you on your job. She trauma bonded with you. I've seen that in every job I've ever worked. I've seen that commonly. Woman walk in and she decides she want to be your friend. So she start treating you like crap. This girl I went to school with tried that with me in the 5th grade. So 5th grade. No, that was 2nd grade. That wasn't 5th grade. It was 2nd grade. 2nd grade. This girl used to always try to fight me out for recess. Never failed. No, that was 5th grade. I was 10 years old. Yeah, I was 10 years old. So I was 5. It was 5th grade. This girl used to always, we had just started going to this new school. And there was this one girl, for whatever reason, this girl took she just seemed to be obsessed with me. She just, she couldn't take her eyes off me. By this time I hadn't made any friends or what have you. Didn't know anybody, what have you, because I'm new to the school. And she kept trying to bully me. She kept on telling me, you're going to walk with me out for recess. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And I remember being out for recess and walking. I remember her grabbing the back of my clothes and pulling me back. And when I turn around, she just standing there, what have you. And I walk away. So I'm over there. But I remember, yeah, she was trying to bully me. I remember the most beautiful sight, because she didn't get a chance to do that long. The most beautiful sight for me was watching my brother run toward her with his arm out like this. He clotheslined her. They let him out. He was in the 6th grade. And I remember they let them out. They came out while we were out there. And I remember I was trying to walk away from her. And when I turned around, I just saw my brother. What was she trying to do? She was trying to force me to be her friend. She was trying to trauma bomb me. Listen, I was 10 years old, but I still remember that clothesline. That happened on 2 different occasions. On 2 separate occasions, because it happened again. Another time I was outside, she was trying me again, and I'm about ready to fight her. Before I can even think about fighting her, I see my brother come with that clothesline. But this was somebody that was trying to trauma bond. This was somebody that was trying to force me to be her friend. Force me. And I'm just sitting there, and I've always been smaller than most students. I was, short or what have you. So she was taller than me. And I was like, listen, I kick your little behind. But that's a trauma bond. That's an example of a trauma bond. All right. That's it. I'm going to get ready to close because I said I wasn't going to keep y'all on here long, but I am going to say this. If you say that you have a strong cutoff game, and I want you to hear me clearly. I want you to hear me well. Do yourself a huge favor. You cannot come off level 5 or level 4 until you heal. You cannot come off those levels until you heal. You cannot come off those levels until you heal. Work toward your healing. Stop stigmatizing therapists. Get therapy. Get help. Get help so that you can move on. It's not normal to have a strong cutoff game. Matter of fact, I would never entertain a man, not knowingly, that has a strong cutoff game. Because what he's admitting to is that he's weak in the area of problem resolution. And you know what relationships are? A series of problems that you have to solve. That's all it is. So I'm not willing to go to level 2, level 3, and then I got to deal with crazy. Get therapy. Get therapy. Get healing. Get deliverance. Push your way through that. Don't think that's a flex. Don't walk around talking about some girl. I got a strong cutoff game. No, because you, like I said, your cutoff game is strong because you're on level 5 dealing with the same people. You need to stop dating on level 5. You need to stop letting people put you in relationships, calling you their bestie, and on level 5. You need to get my book of boundaries. Go to Amazon, type in the book of boundaries. I'll give you the order in which to get them. If you want to master setting boundaries, and this is not me trying to do a shameless plug, but I do think that boundaries are necessary. The Black Book of Boundaries is the first one you get. I've had people ask me a ton of times, which one do I get first? I would buy all 5 if I were you because they will bless your whole wild life, and I can tell you that right now. But the Black Book of Boundaries, and then the Green Book of Boundaries, and then the Blue Book of Boundaries, and then the Purple Book of Boundaries, and the red is the last one. I'll say that again. The black one is the first edition. The green one, Emerald, is the second edition. Sapphire, the blue one, is the third edition. The Royal Edition, fourth one. Purple, um, that's the fifth edition. And then red is the fourth, the Sapphire is the fourth edition, and red is the fifth edition. Those books will teach you how to set boundaries in your life. And I'm going to tell you something from a person that came out of straight chaos. My life is 1,000 times better. Also, Sister Caroline, don't forget to leave me a review. My life, honestly, because when you set boundaries, you will lose people in your life. But that is a beautiful thing because you end up having peace. I have a peace that surpasses my true understanding, to the point where I went to God at one point and I asked the Lord, was I in idolatry? I was like, Lord, am I idolizing peace? Because I like this too much. I like this too much. Sister Kelly had to share the links. I said, Lord, I like this too much. Because I'm just not willing to let people come in and take my. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I almost missed this. I almost missed telling you guys this. I almost messed this whole thing up by not telling you this. Because this is something that I was dealing with. Like I said, I had somebody that was trying to comment or what have you. When it comes to cutoff, because the question, because somebody gonna come in my comments and ask this question if I don't say this. What if you dealing with toxic people? Are you promoting the idea that we need to not cut them off? No. Now, I've said this part. Stop dealing with toxic people. Test the spirit like the Bible told you to do. Secondly, here's what I learned. This will bless your life. Here's what I learned. I got a book that's going to come out real soon called Relational Intelligence. Here's what I learned. There's this thing called positioning. So if I meet you and we start hanging out, I think you're cool. You talking to me about best friendship and all that other stuff. Okay, that sounds cute. That sounds dandy and all that. But I don't know you like that. I'm not going to talk to you every day. First and foremost, I don't talk to nobody every day. I don't really want to talk to nobody every day unless it's somebody I'm dating, but anybody, I just don't want to be on the phone all the time. Okay. I'm talking to you. We cool. We friends. We sisters in Christ. I can't say you my friend. When you first come into my life as a believer, you're my sister in Christ. That's it. I am not calling you my friend. I don't know you to call you my friend. I'm not calling you my friend. You're my sister in Christ. Now, if we slip up and say friend, I don't necessarily mean that. I mean, you my sister in Christ. Because there are responsibilities that come with every label. So my goal isn't to start you off here, because this is intimate space. It's level 5. It's to start you off in level 1. That's it. And I got to see how you handle level 1. If you master that over there and I master level 1 in your life, then we're in agreement. If you show me that you're mature, then we may get a little bit closer. You come to level 2, I come to level 2. That's how relationships are supposed to look. I want you to hear me when I say this. This is how you stop getting traumatized. I'm giving you stuff that's in a whole wide book. And so this is how you stop getting traumatized. Level 4. I'm level 4 with you. You level 4. We hanging out. Listen, you cool. You reciprocal. You showing that you're a good friend. You mature. I'm showing that I'm a good friend. Oh, man. Dang it. Over the course of time, we get a little bit closer. Now, we get to level 3. You start getting gossipy. You start acting a little bit toxic. I don't have to cut you off. I need y'all to hear me when I say that. I don't have to cut you off. I just need to put you back to level 2. That's the space you can handle. You can't handle level 3. You can't handle that level of access. So the goal is, this is to help you with your cutoff game so you can stop thinking you have to cut people off. You don't have to cut them off. You just have to reposition them. You just have to reposition them. Okay, let's talk about family. Because sometimes people say, well, family already in level 5. Okay, now you got to push them back. Let me put you on level 4 and see how you handle that space. Oh, you still crazy? Okay, push you to level 3. Yep, no, I need you to go back a little bit 4. Level 2. Why are you cussing me out? Level 1. Oh, you still want? Then I can turn around and I can go no contact. You see what I did? What I was doing was, I don't have to traumatize people or traumatize myself by constantly cutting people off. I just allow people to show me what level of access they can handle in my life. If they can't handle this, I don't have to discard them, because that's punishment for not being able to handle this. But they may not be mature enough to handle this. They may not have what the Bible called perfect love, which is mature love, which is agape love, which is also charity. They may not have that. So that's fine. They don't got that. That's fine. I don't have to punish them for not having that. All I have to do is just push them. Okay. Level 4. Girl, you don't want to answer your phone. Why you keep pushing me back? I'm not being mean, sis. I love you. I'm just trying to find a role for you in my life and a role for me in your life, because we are actually we're going toe to toe, and that's not healthy for either one of us. I mean, I'm not trying to cut you out of my life. I'm just trying to make sure I don't have the time that I used to give to you. I don't have, and when I do talk to her, I'm not telling her everything that I used to tell her. I'm not opening up to her like that. Girl, you're silly. That's funny. Yeah, what you want to do? Okay. She can't handle that. Level 1. Most of the time when you're doing this, you're James 4:7 a person. Submit yourself to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. She's going to turn away from you and walk away because she doesn't want level 1. She wants access that she's not qualified for. There's no difference than somebody talking about they want trust, not understanding that trust is built. It's not given to you. I don't automatically trust you. I'm talking about 5 levels. I use the example. I use a 5 level model. 5 being the intimate access. 4, close friend, but not too close, not too intimate. 3 is going to be more so a friend or somebody I'm cool with or what have you. 2, a distant friend. 1, associate. Then after that, that's not a discard, that's a disconnect. You have to see what level of access a person can have to you. You don't have to discard everybody. You don't have to, if you learn, and like I told you, I have a book that's going to come out called Relational Intelligence. I'm teaching you how to have relational intelligence with people. If you learn relational intelligence, you'll learn who to bring close and who not to bring close, and you'll learn how to reposition people because people do change in every season. You know, you may have somebody in this season that is level 4, but then next season you may have to move them to level 2. Next season, they probably, because your mind is changing, can two walk together except they be agreed. Your mind is changing, their mind is changing, and you may not be in agreement. They're having different encounters, they're having different experiences, they are going in a different direction than you, and it's fine. That's not an enemy just because somebody's going in a different direction. We got to stop this, y'all. It's frustrating to me. A lot of times, the mindsets that a lot of times we adapt, or that we find ourselves agreeing with, we start having these mindsets that, okay, because the person is no longer in agreement with me, or the person is no longer calling me that much, they're my enemy. I don't think that everybody's my enemy just because they're not active in my life. I just think that we are where we need to be. We are where what we can handle. And I don't try to force anything beyond that. Because I know that if I'm sitting here and I'm prayerful, God's gonna bring people in my life because I got this space cleared out that I can hold dear to my heart. And I don't have to love them hard, and I ain't got to love them from a broken place because I'm healed. You know why I'm healed? Because I'm not out here taking everybody and bringing them close. The Bible says, guard your heart, for out of it pours the issues of life. I'm not out here taking everybody and saying, you my bestie, or some dude talk, and I'm like, I don't know, like, come on, just come here. You're going to be my baby. No. Dude, level 1. Let's see how you handle that. Can you handle level when you want to get to know me better? Let's talk. We cool. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let me check out your pursuit. Let me look at your relationship with God. Let me look at you. Let me look at how you deal with rejection. Let me see this stuff here before I bring you closer. I don't just sit up there and be like, you're so cute. We're gonna make it work because you're cute. We're gonna make it work. Because if you can be honest, and I'm gonna close behind this, and it's gonna be raw and it's gonna be truth. If you can be honest, some of y'all rush relationships because you're in a rush to get into bed with a dude. See, you won't deal with your perversion, you won't deal with your lust, you won't deal with your sex addiction. So since you're trying to be abstinent, rather than going and dealing with the sex addiction, you just decided to go cold turkey, and now you're trying to rush relationships, and now you're trying to hurry the relationship up so you can hurry up and get into bed with a dude. You can't think of anything outside of sex that you want to get married for. Tell me the truth. You can't imagine a dude standing up. Every vision you have, a thought you have of him, is he laying down. That's all. You keep imagining him laying down with his clothes off. Objectification. You think that marriage is going to be a beautiful wedding where your haters get to hate on you and feel bad that they talked about you, and then after that, an everlasting honeymoon. You don't take into account that the dude gonna stand up. He gonna get out that bed. He gonna want to have a conversation. He gonna want to hang out, and you should want to hang out with him. You don't take into account that he got his own thoughts, his own desires that will not match yours in a lot of cases. Hear me when I tell you that. Realistic view of marriage. You think that the dude gonna come in, because most of the time when women imagine marriage, they think that the man gonna agree with all their plans. No, God made them with a different type of fabric. They typically, you be like, so I want a big house, boy, about 4,000, 4,500, 6,000 square feet, 3 acres of land. That's just too much. Are you serious? What do you want? About 1,300. Dude, come out. Listen, I know you were in prison at some point. Come out the cell in your mind, okay? It's okay to have nice things. I'm just saying that's a whole lot of how, you know what I'm saying? They don't always agree. So stop imagining some dude that's agreeing with everything. He's not gonna even agree with your decor. All right, I'm gonna go. He's not gonna even agree with your decor. I'm trying to decorate the living room. He trying to decorate the living room. Dude, you want posters of female. You want to put crazy stuff, records and stuff. You want this to look like a bachelor pad. That's what marriage looks like. It's somebody that want to do decorations and have your house looking like a hot mess. That's what marriage looks like. All right, realistic view. Don't walk around here with no strong cutoff game. Listen, guys, reach out to Apostle Ivory Hopkins. I would tell you, and the Pastor Shanithia. Pastor Shanithia does counseling. Get some counseling through her. Apostle Ivory Hopkins does counseling as well. He also does deliverance. So get you some deliverance counseling. Get you some counseling through him as well. I'm going to wait for them to post the links in the over here so that you guys can register with them. And if you would love to be mentored by me, I'd love to be your mentor. Let me say this before I go. Come on into Esther Prep University. We're about to start having courses. And yeah, you guys have the opportunity to come into some of the courses through, like you'll be able to purchase a course, but it'd be a lot better to get into Esther Prep. So the first one, we're going to still do the competitive assessment. So make sure you get up in there. All right. So she posted, Sister Labria posted Apostle Ivory Hopkins info. You see Pilgrim's Ministry, so you can book him for coaching and counseling. And then somebody is you got to post her link, Sister Kelly. Sister Georgianne. Sister Georgianne, talking about I want to be mentored. Lift your hands. Lift them. You about to be mentored right here. Go to bed. I told you what was that? Something to think about. What was that? Oh yeah, go take a Vitex. Go take a Vitex and wait on the mister. Got some warm thighs at home. All right, I don't see Pastor Shanithia's link. Do me one. Okay, guys, make sure you post up Pastor Shanithia's link. Okay, I think I'm gonna go get it. All right, I'm gonna go get it, y'all. Give me a second. Posted it already. It's too late. I'm having to come get it. Here we go. Okay. There you go. There's her link for you to post. For you guys. So again, you can go to Apostle Ivory Hopkins. He does deliverance counseling. He does counseling. He does deliverance. Or you can also go with just therapy with Pastor Shanithia Kendricks. If you're married, I would definitely say go to Apostle Ivory Hopkins. If you want to do marriage counseling, he does that as well. All right, I love you guys, and I will post it above her comment. I love you guys, and I will talk to y'all soon. No, they did not post that link. They post Apostle Ivory Hopkins link, but that's that. All right, I love y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.